Hi, how are you? Welcome to Grimm's Midnight Tales. You already know the drill. But first, let's continue where we left off. The story is my father is a park ranger. He took me with him on the night shift. I should have listened to his rules. Here's a quick recap of the rules. Don't go out alone in the park. Always have a working contact device. Don't leave marked paths unless instructed to, in or with proper equipment. Don't leave food out and lock the trash bins. Always keep on the whistle and badge. If you see a man without an arm, do not help him. Number 6. Your family is not in here. Remember, there is no reason for you to hear their voices from outside. Lock your car doors even when driving. Check the marks on the trees. There's only 3 types of marks, and they're all triangles: red, yellow, and green. Other marks are not ours. Don't follow them. If the whistling is near you, it means they're far. If the whistling is far away, it means they're near. And the last rule, what is Did Blue? My bad. The last rule is Did Blue. What is Did Blue? I asked. My dad sighed. You know when you're out in the woods, when you think that you hear silence, but you realize there's dozens of sounds around you? From birds to crickets to leaves rustling? Yeah, I said. That's because there's no such thing as silence. Absolute silence. Never. There's always sound, movement, life. Did Blue is complete and utter silence. That's our code name for it. Deaf including silence. Unnatural. I gulped and swallowed. Right, and when that happens, I said, Dad said it won't. And I said, but if it does? He paused, staring at the steering wheel. Then he turned his head towards me, his eyes darting from mine to the window behind me. That is when you leave. That being said, he got out of the car and I followed. The cabin was dusty and cramped. I couldn't understand how I could spend 8 hours in here. He had a small TV, but it wasn't working. A desk and a mini fridge. I said to him, "Dang, you sit here all alone?" He said, "Yeah. Does that freak you out?" And I said, "Don't you get bored?" He said, "No. Martin's Post is 10 minutes away. Sometimes I'll drive over there. Nothing really happens out here anyway. And my spot is pretty far from the campsites. I just have to patrol from time to time to make sure no one wanders off into the night. But that rarely happens. This is one of the wilder areas, less explored, you know?" "You haven't explored it all?" I said to him, and his eyes sparkled. "That wouldn't be possible," he chuckled a bit. "So you don't know what's out there." And he said, "That's the fun of it. You said you wanted adrenaline, so there you go." I nodded my head. He opened the mini fridge and threw me some juice, some orange juice that I mentioned to him one time. Specifically a brand, and he remembered it. Maybe our relationship wasn't so bad. We sat next to each other in a small cabin. Dad locked it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Most of the time I just sleep. Literally nothing ever happens. "So you really didn't see any creatures out there? Like the ones you told me about when I was little?" I asked jokingly. "The only creature out there is my manager, and I'd rather face a million cryptids than talk to him." We both laughed. I leaned in to look out the window. Well, the windows. I couldn't see anything, just my reflection. Dad then asked me, "Want me to dim down the light?" "Yeah," I said. He did, and darkness crept inside the tiny cabin. The woods became more prominent and vivid. The light made by the moon was unbelievable. The stars were actually visible compared to the polluted city. The cabin was on the hill, propped up by a tree, with a trapdoor and a ladder leading to our car. We would actually see above the tree line into the valley, and it was beautiful. We spent the first hours talking, but somewhere around midnight I dozed off. I didn't want to, but I caved in and fell asleep with my head on the desk. I woke up suddenly, rubbing my eyes in confusion. I asked, "What time is it to Dad?" Dad said, "I got a call from Martin." And I woke up mumbling, Right, who was Martin?" And my dad said, "The other one in the camp area. He says he got a call from the campsite and someone's missing. We need to go search for him." "What, we as in us?" I said to him. "Yeah, you'll stay in the back seat. I'm on the phone with Martin right now." I could hear Martin's muffled voice through the speaker, but he said something that alarmed me. He said, "Wait, don't take the kid." My dad said, "Why not? He'll stay in the car." And I heard Martin say, "Paul, it could be one of those nights." "We won't get out of the car," he said. My dad did. But Martin said, "You can't guarantee that." And my dad followed with saying, "Well, I can't leave him here, alone in the dark." Only for a pause to be followed up for a long time. Martin then said, "Look, Paul, I understand you wanted to do a take your kid to work day, but I don't know about this one. This could be a very dangerous night." But my dad retorted back, "We're literally just going to drive around for a bit. It's fine." But Martin was adamant and said, "Leave him in the cabin." But then Dad put his hand over one of the speakers, so I didn't understand what Martin told him. His eyes kept darting to the window behind me, and he sighed. "Martin will come pick me up. You're staying here, locked. Turn the lights off and wait for me to return. It's going to take a minute and you'll be safe here," he said to me. "What? I'm not staying here alone. Where did Martin tell you to change your mind?" I said. "It doesn't matter. I'll return in maximum half an hour. You can go back to sleep if you want, or I can call you and we can talk." I felt truly afraid. I didn't even want to show it, especially after I complained that nothing interesting happened around here, and reluctantly, I agreed. Because worst thing is, I got my wish. My dad opened the trapdoor and climbed down the ladder, and his face disappeared into the darkness. I saw Martin's car pick him up and drive away. Silence followed, and I wished I'd been home in my bed. I sat stiff on the chair and waited, and waited, and waited. I began imagining the worst. What if they crashed? What if a bear had found them? I didn't want to let my fear get the best of me, but I thought about his legends and a set of rules. I hoped the riders were just paranoid. But roughly around 2 a.m. I heard a knock on the trapdoor. I felt my chest tighten and another knock followed. I wanted to respond, but something in me didn't allow me to. But I heard my dad's voice. "Kev, open. It's cold out here." It echoed throughout the cabin. It sounded so calm and serene, followed with just a faint panic in his voice. My eyes were dry from the lack of sleep, but my mind was fully awake. I stared at the phone and at the trapdoor. And he said again, "Kev, open please. I know you're there. I saw you at the window." I turned off the light completely. I don't know why I had this urge, but if my dad could see me from the window, anyone could, or anything. And I didn't like to be on display like that. I then said, "You don't have a key? It locks from the inside," it said back to me. And I said, "Shit, yeah." He said, How was it? Did you find him?" Oh, my bad. Let me reread this, y'all. It's a little bit confusing. I then said to him, "You don't have a key?" Oh, wait, no, my bad. The thing said to me, "You don't have a key." And I said, "It locks from the inside." It said, "Shit. Yeah. How was it? Did you find them?" "Yeah, we did. He was drunk off his ass. We helped him return to his friends. It could have been a lot worse." As I was talking to him, I searched for the keys in the drawer. It was strange because I hadn't heard anyone climbing the ladder, or even seen Martin's car drive my dad back to the cabin. "How did you get here without Martin?" I said. What do you mean? Open up, Kev. I'm freezing." "Answer the question. He did drive me here," he said. I said, "I didn't see any headlights. They were off to not draw the attention of animals." I said, "Bullshit." I pulled out the crumpled piece of paper and what made me startle and shake. Rule number 6. Your family is not in here. Remember, there is no reason for you to hear their voices from outside. And my hand shook so bad I could barely grab the phone. I skimmed through my contacts and I got my dad's name. I called him. The phone was ringing, yet no sound came from beneath the trapdoor. And my dad picked up. He said, "Anything okay?" In the blinding darkness of the cabin surrounded by the howling wind, I toned my voice down to a whisper. "Dad, someone out there is pretending to be you." A long pause followed. When he spoke, his voice was trembling. "Don't open. Turn off the lights. Did you turn them off when I told you?" I turned them off now." "No, you should have turned them off when I left." "I'm sorry." "It's fine. Don't talk to it. Did you talk to it?" Guilt crept up my spine. I don't know why, but I lied. "I did not." "Good. Stay put. I'm coming after you." "But what if the thing sees you? You'll have to face it." "We have ways to distract them. It's fine. Don't be scared." I lied again. "I'm not." "Good. I love you. I'm coming." I wasn't scared for me. I was scared for him. The voice from below continued. "Kev, please open. Please. It's cold." I refused to answer, and knocks followed. The voice went on. "Did you talk to someone on the phone?" "Kev, I lost my phone in the woods. Whoever is out there and has my phone is not me. It's not me. It's not me." And it kept repeating. "It's not me. It's not me." I began feeling lightheaded. Fear is one thing, but this was a combination of anxiety, stress, and guilt. Unbearable enough to where I felt like I was having a panic attack. I tried to control my breath, but to no avail. The cabin was spinning around me, and he kept repeating, "It's not me. It's 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 not me." And I yelled, "Shut up! Shut up!" And it did. Silence followed. I pulled out the list again and started reading and rereading the rules like a lunatic. I kept listening for noises from outside. The wind was still going. Good, and thankfully no dead blew. Then I heard a loud thud from my wall. Another followed, and another. It sounded like footsteps, but then they moved to the roof of the cabin. All I could hear was my heartbeat in my ears, and whatever was out there was now climbing around my cabin. I could hear the scratching outside, and I began to cry and cover my mouth with my hand. All I wanted was just my dad. I wished I could see his face one more time. The universe somehow ironically responded, because my dad's face suddenly appeared at one of the windows. He raised his hand and knocked, and I stared at him through eyebrows, my head tilted, scarcely breathing. I remained still, but he kept knocking. That wasn't my dad. The cabin was tied to a tree at around 10 meters from the ground. He cannot be at the window. The creature knocked and knocked, and for what seemed like an eternity, we just made eye contact, blood dripping from one of his nostrils. Another phone call woke me from my trance. Kevin, are you there? Are you in the cabin? Yes, and the thing looks like you, and it's at the window. I heard him gulp and swallow. I'm coming right now. I'll shoot it. Don't worry, I'm just about to turn a corner. Dad, I'm really scared for you. Martin's coming too. It's okay. Truly, in a few minutes, Martin's car pulled up, and I cried in relief. The thing turned his head to look, then back to me, and it opened its mouth wide, and using its fingers pulled the corners upwards to form a smile, then jumped into the woods into the darkness. Gunshots followed and echoed. After a few silent minutes, I called my dad. He picked up. Where are you? I asked. I'm coming to get you. I saw him walk towards the cabin, then heard him climb the stairs. I unlocked the trapdoor and held him tight. Hugged him tight. What was that? Please tell me we're going home, I said to him. We are. I'm so sorry. I should have never put you through this. Come on. As we walked to our car, my blood ran cold. It was not something I seen or heard, but the opposite. The wind stopped, and the crickets stopped. Dead blue. I sprinted to the car, got in the driver's seat, then locked the doors. My dad was standing in front of the car, confused. That's when I got a text, and I hit the gas. I ran him over, then turned the car around, and sped up into the night. I barely knew how to work it out, since I didn't have my license. But I left as quick as possible. Behind me, a car followed. When I got to the nearest checkpoint, I stopped. The car was Martin's. He got out alone. Where's my dad? I asked. He took an ATV to get you. Said he'd get there faster. I texted him to turn around and that you were safe. The text he sent me, Martin and I split up. He may get there faster than me, and if he does, he'll text me to turn and head to the checkpoint. There is no one with Martin. He's alone. I thought I'd unlocked the trapdoor to my dad when he'd actually taken an ATV and turned to the checkpoint. Thankfully, the thing I'd run over wasn't my dad, or at least that's what I'm thinking. And I've known it since I felt that unnerving silence. However, no one at the checkpoint had seen my dad. But as I'm typing this, I'm afraid for him. But a part of me knows he's alive. Maybe he took another route, or got lost. Whatever he did, I'll find him. Wow. That was a very unnerving experience, and hopefully his dad is who we well, let's hope for the best, because this story really got to me. Hopefully that was a skinwalker that he ran over, that not his dad, you know? Well, that's the conclusion to that story. We're going to have another one come up soon in the next Grim Tales. Thank you for being here, and I'm sorry that this is a more shorter one. But I do plan on doing a double, maybe even a triple upload. Well, I hope to find you in the next video because it doesn't stop here. Things get more grim, especially at this midnight. Thank you for staying, and hopefully I see you next time.